Welcome to NEREASAN Channel. In this week's video, I'm going to introduce you to Fouetté turns and I'm gonna share with you some pro tips to help you master them. So, let's go! So, what are Fouetté turns? Fouetté turns are one of the most popular and most difficult steps in ballet. They are performed by the principal ballerina in most of the ballets at the end of the grand pas de deux. If you translate the word fouetté to English means whipped. So fouetté turns are whipped turns. There are mainly two ways of performing these fouetté turns. One of them is doing a rond de jambe. This technique is mostly used by ballerinas trained in the Italian or French or Balanchine technique. And Fouetté is doing plié à la seconde, which is mostly performed by ballerinas trained in the Russian technique. Both techniques are right, they're just different approaches. So you can do the Fouetté turns to the right if you are righty or to the left if you are lefty. The funny fact about me is that I am a righty, but I do the Fouetté turns to the left. Just because when I started learning the Fouettés, for some reason I decided to practice more to the left, so that's why I'm a lefty for Fouettés. So, how do we start the Fouettés? There are two ways. You can either to fourth, and you can start with a single or a double pirouette, or you can do passé, plié, pirouette, and then you start doing the fouettes. One of the most important things for the fouetté turns is to stay in one place, not to be hopping around, right, the stage, which it can be very challenging, especially because these fouetté turns are performed at the end of the grand pas de deux and variations. So it requires a lot of stamina and you have to be really strong in order not to move and do them perfectly. So how can you do that? The secret is to always land in the same position. Every time you do plié, your shoulders and hips are on top of your supporting foot and they are aligned. You start doing plié à la seconde, or if you do plié à la seconde, then that's when you start moving and falling. So it's very important to always have in your brain up and down, up and down, up and down in the same spot. If you start thinking of your leg doing rond de jambe, most likely you are going to fall. This leg has to be beautiful, but the most important thing of the fouettes is your core. Every time you have to land in control, plié, in control, plié. Yes, always in your center. If you feel like you are pulling back, immediately try to fix it. One of the things that we lose, but it's also part of the fouetté technique, is that whether you do rond de jambe fouetté or à la seconde fouetté, the leg should always go back and front. Instead of going front, side, passé, right? It has to go front, side, back, front, plié, and back, front. Also à la seconde. When you do à la seconde, back, front, and back, front, and back, front. Yes, that's also a very important part of the fouettes, and this is one of the qualities that make the fouetté turns special. Another really important thing to master the fouetté turns is to keep your angle very strong. Most common mistake is that your hip starts lifting and then you start falling to the side. It's very important to keep this hip down and up. Only 90 degrees. 90 degrees. Pam pam. 90 degrees. So I'm gonna show you some exercises that really help with this. It's very important to have strong ankles, to be able to do 32 relevés in one spot without moving. Yes, so your ankle has to be strong enough to be able to do this. You can hold the bar and do relevés, or then moving to the center and try to do relevés on one leg without moving from your spot. Another exercise they taught me at the Bolshoi Ballet Academy was just to do plié, relevé, plié, relevé, plié, relevé, plié, relevé. 16 times or even 64 times. They always told me, you know, if you want to do 32 fouettes, on stage you have to be able to do 64 in the studio. That's why they always ask us to do this 64 times in order for our bodies to get this mechanism and do it automatically. Another thing that our teacher used to tell us all the time is that you have to have the stamina to be able to hold your leg 90 degrees for like 2 minutes or even 3 minutes. Why? Because you want to make your ankle strong and you want to make sure that you are strong enough to just hold your leg there. One of the most common mistakes as well is dropping your knee when you do fouettes. So you always want to keep this, right? Basically doing this with your arms, right? You don't want to be moving your whole leg and shoulders. Just the knee, just the knee, just the knee. Another very important thing in order to have successful fouettes, of course, is the coordination. The coordination of your arms with the leg. Your arm and leg are moving at the same time, right? You want to be able to do a la seconde, and then this elbow pulls back, right? You pull back with the elbow, and then this arm opens directly to the side. One of the mistakes as well is opening the arm to the back. So if you open the arm to the back every time, you're going to be falling backwards. As the fouettes are turns, very important to spot. Treat it as a pirouette, right? You do one and spot, plie, spot, plie, spot, plie. Very sharp heads in order not to get dizzy or to get less dizzy. For me, what really works, thinking of my hips going down straight. Yes, make sure your hips don't go forward or ushiro. Always down, up, straight down, straight down. So fouetté turns are actually considered a trick, and it's very important in order to be successful to practice them every day. If you are starting to do fouettes for the first time, you can practice doing 8 fouettes and then trying to build up and do 16 fouettes and then 24 fouettes and then 32 fouettes, and so on. Set up small goals. I think that's also a very good tip in order not to give up, because it's very easy to give up on fouettes. Oh, they are so hard, I can never do 32. Take it easy, start step by step, and because it's a trick, it takes courage to do it. It's one of the steps that makes ballerinas, makes me super nervous. So the problem is when you get nervous and you start doubting yourself, most of the times the fouettes won't work, because you start losing your confidence, you start making the fouettes quicker, right? And then you start losing the coordination, you start losing your technique. So it's very important for the fouetté turns to be confident, to know every position and to go through it every time. As we said, every time landing in the same spot, every time going through the same positions. When we get nervous, instead of doing rond de jambe à la seconde, yes, we tend to make it smaller and smaller and smaller, and that breaks our square and makes us travel and fall. So it's very important to remain calm for the fouettes. Your body knows what to do. You just need to be confident and go for it. So this was my video for you guys about the fouetté turns. I hope it was useful and you learned some pro tips from me. Please let me know in the comments if you have any more steps that you would like me to make a videos explaining, and I will have a look at them. I'm also offering private lessons for our Online Salon members. I'm going to leave a link in my description box. You can book a private lesson with me. It will be a one-on-one coaching through the Zoom app, and we can work on anything you would like. If you need tips for certain steps or even a private ballet class or private variation coaching, I'm here for you guys. Besides that, I also offer weekly classes. A lot of cool stuff is happening there, so check the link. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please, 高評価お願いします。Like this video. チャンネル登録お願いします。Thank you so much for watching. Bye 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 bye. Bye bye. ありがとうございます。Thank you for watching. Bye bye.